I think that we want to just start strong from the beginning of the season. Last season we kind of had a slow start and then picked it up toward the end, and I think that we all are on the same page in the fact that we just want to have a strong season from the beginning. And then I think we also want to finish in the top of the Big Ten and make it to the tournament, the Big Ten tournament and the NCAA tournament as well.
What role do you want to play as like the team captain?
I think that I would like to be more vocal, and I think that I'm going to work on that as a captain. Normally I think that I demonstrate my leadership abilities through like example, and I would like to be more vocal and that kind of thing this year. So.
Personal goals. Did you say a personal goal? I don't remember.
Not really.
What's a personal goal for you since you're going to be a senior, and some improvements from last year, or things you want to continue that you did last year?
This year I just want to be able to, I'd say, hold my fitness level high so that I can compete and be able to compete in all the games and be able to play for an entire game for 90 minutes. So.
Yeah.
Do you have any preferences over, playing in the middle like you did your first couple of years, or in the back like you did last year?
I like the middle, but I don't have a problem with playing in the back either. I think that I look forward. I think that this year I have more of an opportunity to play in the middle, and I look forward to that. I think more so in a defensive mid position, but I also enjoy playing attacking mid and getting into the attack as well.
Last year's team was made up of a group of young ladies that really had, a large number of them had started and played from their freshman year. We had a big senior class with a large amount of experience. This year's senior class, I think, has 4 individuals. We've got a large freshman class. So, I would imagine that there'll be a large number of freshmen competing for playing time initially from the outset. And when you have a young team, it tends to be exciting and yet at the same time prove challenging because, you've got those learning lessons to get through.
What are some good and bad things from last season that you want to either improve on or continue?
Well, certainly, I think we've got to give up fewer goals. We leaked way too many goals early on in the first half of the season. We found our way back into the competition, I think, over the Big Ten season, but the ability to keep clean sheets, I think, is going to be essential for us. Certainly, we've seen some growth and development in a young woman like Hadley Stewart, who's coming back off of an injury, and she's, I think, made great gains. And certainly this last spring, I think, proved herself to be a very dangerous player going forward. So hopefully we can take advantage of that. We've got some influx of not only young players but a transfer as well, and certainly I think that our players that gained experience last fall will certainly be able to put that to good use as well.
Okay. As a coach, what role do you want to play for the team, especially with all the new players coming in?
Well, I think, as our coaching staff, we've got some individuals, we've got a new coach in Parisa Yorokin that's joined us, and her experience here as a Boilermaker, her ability to have gone through the program, and I really think develop and grow into what was, a first-team All-American. I think being able to demonstrate to the players that we can show them the path that they should walk down, but they're still really the ones that have to be responsible and mature enough to take the steps to grow and develop, not only as individuals but as a team. And so certainly, that's what we want to provide them is, the how-tos, so to speak, but then they've got to bring in that team dynamic. They've got to bring in the self-motivation and the internal drive to go through and do the work and everything to get them where they can go.
Well, I think the biggest way to help people feel more comfortable is just to express your experience. And so I came in as a freshman, and I mean I've been through it just like they have, and so I think that it's important to reach out to them and just to make sure that they're feeling acquainted and comfortable, and if they have questions or concerns, I think that it's important that you're approachable and able to help them along.
Can you sum up the first couple weeks of camp a little bit? Staying in a hotel for the freshmen, it's being away from home for the first time in a lot of cases. Looking back to your first year, what that was like.
I think that coming in and not really knowing anybody, I think that it's kind of intimidating, and then you're staying in a hotel, and it's kind of like you're just on lockdown a little bit. So that's hard to get adjusted to. And I know I felt really homesick all the time, and so I think that some of those feelings might occur, but I think that they'll quickly start to feel more comfortable, and I don't know, I think we have a lot of kind and caring upperclassmen that do a good job of reaching out to girls. And
having to train and talk to and create a new relationship with players and ensure that you're on the same page. You know, in last year when you're starting 5 or 6 kids that have, you know, been playing since their freshman year, you'd be able to go, hey, remember 2 years ago when we were playing Michigan and we made that little switch? They'll look at you, they'll, you know, eyes eye to eye and be like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. You're like, we want to do that. And that simple ability to communicate. This is going to be a lot more of, you've got to do a lot of repetitions out on the field. You've got to there's that learning curve, you know, and you've got to be in their ear. So you've got to build an element of trust with those young players. So as they experience failure, which they will, you've got to get it where you're able to provide them the little points and, you know, playing outside of the football there, or make, you know, drop off a little off this player. And so they need that repetition, you know, to gain. And that's really what, you know, our entire preseason is going to be made up of, is trying to provide them those number of reps so they can garner the experience.
Strategies, I guess.
Every year we look at the players on the team, and certainly I think there's a couple key elements to how we want to play as a team. But the personnel that you have available certainly makes a major difference in how you approach the game. You know, having a player like Molly Kiramoto, who's someone that we anticipated this spring would be playing in this fall and providing, you know, on-field leadership as one of our captains. You know, with her being out with a you know, recovering from an ACL injury, that just puts where someone else is going to have to step in and they don't have that experience. So we really try to design a system of play and a way of playing that suits and accommodates the players and the talents that we have, minimizes their weaknesses and accentuates their strengths.